Good morning, it's Dave, ATI Watch Reviews. Please smash the like button, please hit that subscribe button for more awesome watch content. Little wristwatch check. Well, it's not little. I've got my Gravity Master GRB 200. Absolute beast. This is actually an aviation watch. Loads of features for flying. Absolute behemoth, I love it. From Casio. But this video is going to be basically my top 5 reasons for why you should purchase a dive watch. Now, these are dive watches. I mean, one of them is borderline whether you class as a diver, but I'm fairly certain with all of them you could take them diving no problem, and I've absolutely, because that does happen all across the internet. They are fantastic watches and all great value, and I'm just going to talk generally about why my top 5 reasons of why I really do enjoy buying dive watches. So reason number 1 begins with V, and it's versatility. As you can see with these watches, they are so versatile in appearance. They can go essentially with any outfit you put on. You can wear them to weddings, you can wear them in a business setting, you can wear them with shorts and t-shirt, and you can also, of course, put them on in the pool or in the shower or whatever it is you want to do. I feel as though dive watches, of all the watch styles out there, I feel as though dive watches, and this is a 300-meter DAPIX automatic, an absolute beautiful beast of a watch with a stunning bracelet. My number 1 reason would be the versatility, because I don't like being fixed in wearing a particular outfit with a watch. Now, don't get me wrong, this Pepsi bezel one, I wouldn't put that on to a wedding. And I probably wouldn't wear it in a business suit, but you could do definitely, and it is done without a shadow of a doubt. It is done, but they are definitely on the most versatile side of watches if you're gonna get a watch for versatility. So that would definitely be my first reason. The second reason, okay, is the robustness of them, okay? Because they are designed to withstand the limits of diving, then of course they have features that give them the additional hermetic seal and ability to withstand, obviously, the pressure in water, but they tend to also be extremely well built. Now the one on my right, I would call it a tank. It is an absolute tank. It's heavy as well, but the one, even the BULOVA, it is built very good, and this is a quartz model. It's the Marine Star. It's one of my favourite all around watches. I love it in the two-tone. I think it's absolutely stunning. The dark blue matte is with the gold, and the silver is a perfect combination. It is a stunning two-tone watch, and I'm a big fan, obviously, of this DAPIX as well. I just love the dials. The dials are absolutely stunning in their own right. But what you get is, if you think about it, with a dive watch, you get the ceramic bezel, you get the sapphire crystal with the doming. Now, I've never been a big fan of doming because of the reflections, and this model in particular, this Pagani, unfortunately, it does suffer from severe reflections, this one. But the robustness of them, the ability to withstand knocks and to basically take them anywhere, trekking, in water, whatever you're doing, is a benefit. I never feel like I have to, nurse them or be careful with them like I do with with dress watches. With dress watches, it's a completely different experience. I'm scared of putting scratches in them. I don't feel comfortable taking them outside, even taking them when it's really raining really bad, even though that is probably, with most modern dress watches, they'll probably have at least 30 meters water resist, so you should be completely fine with that. But the point is, with dress watches in particular, and some chronographs really, I don't like getting wet on them, and in Britain where it rains so much, I just don't have that problem with divers. With divers, I can pick them up, I can do basically anything with them, and that's because they're so convenient and so generally robust. You're not going to find, I mean, if you want to find ceramic bezels, sapphire crystals, fully solid stainless steel bracelets, they're more than likely going to be found on a tooly dive watch, basically, rather than found on your standard maybe chronograph or other or dress watch or other type of watch. So the second reason is the robustness, the quality of the materials and so forth. Reason number 3 is because of bracelets. That's right. If you like, well, bracelet and clasp, if you like a stunning stainless steel bracelet with screw links and a heavy duty clasp, and a lot of the time, this one doesn't, but a lot of the time the clasps will have, look at the thickness of them swing arms, absolutely behemoth. A lot of the times the clasp will have maybe 4, 5 or 6 micro adjusts, which is excellent. They may even have an on the fly adjustment, which I'll show you right now in this model here. Clasps like this that are modelled on a very famous watch have on the fly, flick it out, on the fly adjustment. You know, if you wear your bracelet pretty close, that will not come loose, it's tight. If you wear your bracelet pretty tight and you're on a hot summer's day and your wrist has swelled a little bit, you want a bit more room, boom, open up the safety, release the clasp mechanism and set it in a new position. You know, it's brilliant if you're the kind of person that wears it pretty tight and would require that. You know, you're not going to find that type of functionality. You're not going to find it on... now, I've worn this watch to heaven, that's why it's scratched. You know, this has got a dive extension to put it over a wetsuit. Obviously, they're designed to put over wetsuits, but this clasp is a beast of a clasp. It is heavy duty. There is another one that you can get for this model that has a quick adjust mechanism that's excellent, that's obviously made by a company and aftermarket companies, beginning with O. But you're not going to find screw links. This bracelet is probably the comfiest bracelet you'll ever put on your wrist. It's one of the comfiest. Super, super comfy. It's classed as a 5-link, but it's more like a 9-link because each one of those steel plates are really individual pieces, although they don't articulate individually, so maybe it is right to call it a 5-link than a 9-link. But it is super comfortable. The quality of the bracelets and clasps are basically the best found in general on a dive watch, that as a general rule. So, you know, if you want those on the fly adjustment with ratchet clasps, I've had a ratchet clasp on my channel off Citizen before. There's so much to say about the clasps and bracelets, and generally they are found, you know, more predominantly on these dive watches. Obviously because it's a tool, because you want to put it over your wetsuit when you go diving. But some people would actually find benefit, and I find benefit from having a superior bracelet, the solid links and the solid screw and the screws. I just like it above a tinny, crappy, you know, hollow bracelet that you find on many non-divers. So that's the third reason. The fourth reason is the value and the price. And the fourth reason is value and price, basically, but value is the main thing. Because of their tooly nature, I found, and because basically they're popular among celebrities and so forth, the value you can get with a dive watch for features and performance, you know, for the ceramic bezel, sapphire crystal, solid bracelet, amazing clasp, the water resist, all that kind of thing. They are, for bang for buck, they are some of the best watches in the world. Now, I believe Casio's watches are the best watches in the world for bang for buck, for value. I don't think they can be beaten. But second to that as a general category would be, if you buy a dive watch, generally I would say you're getting fantastic bang for buck. I mean, you can buy an expensive dressier watch that has only a fraction of the performance and features, yet is way more expensive. You know, it might only be 30 meters water resist or 50 or whatever, and it won't have it won't have a dive bezel, obviously, but it won't have, might not even have a sapphire crystal. And the case won't be as durable, and it won't be as protective, because it's not expected to be required to withstand the, you know, tolerances and so forth, stresses I should say, of a diving environment. But I would say bang for buck, if you're going to think of a watch group that are going to get you great features for a cheaper price, other than like the Casios of the world, the G-Shocks, then it would be dive watches, because they do have fantastic all-round features, but they are generally not super expensive. I'm not talking about the luxury watches that have luxury divers. Yes, absolutely. If you buy, you know, if you buy the brand beginning with R or the brand beginning with O, then yes, you do pay a lot of money, thousands of pounds. But you don't have to. You can buy off companies like these. This DAPIX one, when it was out, and they're doing a new model, I'm told. They're doing a new version of it, I should say. So I think this is discontinued, I think. You know, this was only about 185 quid, which is just an absolute steal. It's an absolute steal for the features and performance and looks. It can't be beaten. Cannot be beaten. Less than 200 quid is frightening for what they put in these watches. Same as this one. This is a frightening value one. Absolute frightening. And I'm actually going to put this one on a rubber band, because the bracelet is a touch heavy. But, you know, this isn't a steal, below 100 quid when I bought it. I bought it for about £80, I think, which is just a total steal for what it is. And don't get me wrong, it has a flimsiest clasp, but still, it's got 3 micro adjusts, still got the safety catch with the push button deploying. It's fine, it's totally fine, and it's solid bracelet. And I just love the fact that you can pick this up for less than 100 quid or less than 300 quid on most of these here, and you're getting a fantastic all-round value watch that you can wear with practically any outfit, and it'll look fine. So that's number 4. And lastly is the most obvious one, water resist. Now, water resist is a huge topic, and I'm definitely not going to go into it here. My personal feelings is that the water resistance, the requirements in the community do not match with the real world. You don't need a 200 meter water, generally speaking, you don't truly need a 200 meter water resist watch to go diving generally. People do it all over the world on much lesser, maybe 100 meter, and they get away with it. And the whole rating system is complicated to completely explain, but it is massively exaggerated how much you need a 200 meter diver. But having said that, and you could also argue that, look, true divers, like professional divers, they would have to also get the gaskets changed every maybe year or 2 years, or at least checked out to ensure that the hermetic seal is still intact and that it is not going to be compromised underwater. So there's all that to talk about, but ultimately it is nice having a 200 meter water resist on my G-Shocks. Like this is all G-Shocks generally a 200 meter water resist. I can take this diving, I can take this swimming if I want to. Now I know Casio's official spec tell me that you must get a diver's 200 or something. A diver's, they have their own kind of they have a brand or a marker of not just 200 meter, it's like a 200 meter divers. It's not the ice. Well, yeah, it's ISO rated. It's a 200 divers ISO rated version that they have. And but you know, I would easily go diving with this thing. Now it's got loads of pushers, but with Casios they have the protection so that there's less chance that the seal would get broken and water could get, you know, water would ingress. So it's nice being able to jump in. Okay, I'm going to cut that one out. And the last reason is the most obvious reason, and that is, of course, water resist. It is nice having a 200 meter water resist watch. Now, I know that the water resistance thing in the whole community is massively over-egged and it's exaggerated. I'm talking about people who said that you need a 200 meter or 300 meter water resist watch, you know, to do a bit of light snorkeling or a little bit of light diving. You don't. Generally, you don't. People do it all across the world on 100 meter, 50 meter watches. They get away with it and it's fine. I'm not saying I'm recommending that, but I'm just saying it is massively over-egged. If you never go diving, you know, and you just want to do a bit of swimming, you don't technically need a 200 meter or 300 meter or 500 meter water resist watch. You don't. But having said that, and there's also, you know, you could argue that even if you got a 200 meter diver watch, you know, the gaskets can become compromised over a period of time, and you should ultimately get them checked out every few years or whatever, but which most people don't do. But having said that, because, you know, there's people that go diving and it's all over Watch You Seek and other forums. They go diving with a 30 meter watch sometimes. I'm not saying you would do it. It was a Casio, and he went diving to, I think, 25 meter depth, and it was totally fine. You know, the requirements are over-egged, but having said all that, it is nice being able to have a nice dive watch of 200 meter. Not have to worry about the not have to worry about the water resist when I'm going on holiday swimming or when I'm going light snorkeling. And as I said, you can probably get away with a much lower water resist watch, but it is nice to have to not, as long as all the screws are screwed down and you don't whack a pusher like on this one. But this is, all G-Shocks are 200 meter water resist, so I can easily go swimming with this and go diving if I want to. Even though Casio would actually recommend that you only use their Divers 200 ISO rated ones to go proper diving. But if I was going to go proper diving, I wouldn't be going to serious depths. I would probably only go to about 10 meters or something like that. So again, why do you need, you know, a super overwhelming, all powered 500 meter, you know, diver when you're not a professional? But anyway, it's nice to have. It's nice to have to not feel that water is going to be an issue. And I would go diving with this, even though it does have the pushers. I still would definitely go diving with this G-Shock. So all in all, I would say dive watches are my favourite type of watch. They didn't used to be. I think probably I liked the look of chronographs, but as time's gone on, I think really the classic all-round look of a classic diver is my favourite, and especially the two-tones. I absolutely love them, and they are my top 5 reasons why you should own a dive watch if you've not got one in your collection. I think they are the best overall type of watch, and I think, you know, I like to have a couple of them in my collection. Obviously, I've got quite a few and I've sold quite a few, but and some of the ones that I've sold have been even the more tooly ones from Citizen that look super tooly, which are not my favourite. But it's great to have to see what you can get out there. The novel features like the ratchet clasp and all that. It's really interesting. So overall, I love dive watches. I'm probably always going to be buying them. I just thought I'd share my top 5 reasons. Cheers, it's been Dave. There's going to be more awesome watch content soon.